news.
Right. Let's talk a little whiskey.
Let's do it.
Because we had earlier in the show, we had I'm blanking Single Malt Frontier checking in, and he's here for the whiskey. You can tell that from the name. What are we drinking today?
As I said earlier, we had our old fashions with Keeper's Heart, Irish Bourbon finished in PX Sherry Casks.
Yeah, and we actually just spent Saturday up at the O'Shaughnessy Distillery, which makes Keeper's Heart. Do you want to start talking about it a little bit? You want me to talk about it a little bit?
I would like you to get the bottle.
All right.
Because we before this was available to us.
Yes.
We've partnered with Ace Spirits in the past, who is up in Minneapolis, in the Minneapolis area as well.
Yes, Oh yeah, you can tell them.
You can tell. So this is the store. This is
the one you're pointing at.
Yep.
Is the one from Keeper's
I was
Heart.
trying to point over here.
The mirror throws you, right?
It does.
This one is the one we just bought.
Yeah, look at that coloring. When I picked up the bottle, which we got to sample at the distillery due to our interest waiting before the tour of that bottle, and it was.
Go ahead. Sorry, it was what?
Well, it was really good, and the color. When I picked up this bottle, the color is very noticeable how dark this is.
But I was going to say just one thing. Shout out to Keeper's Heart for always just being. I mean, they're just first class. Walk in. He said, "You're here for the tour." I said, "Yeah, you weren't there yet."
Not yet. I was on my way.
Finishing your drinks.
Yes.
You and
complimentary drinks.
Yeah, you and your parents. Yeah, we got complimentary drinks. I did mine fairly quickly. I was like, I got this. You guys were enjoying yours a little longer. Yeah. So I walk in
the patio punch.
Yeah, the patio punch, which was really good. And he immediately says, "Oh, you're the podcaster." And I was like, okay. I've never walked into a distillery and they go, "Oh, you're the podcaster." So that was kind of cool because it's not like we were the only ones on the tour. There were 12 people on it.
Maybe.
Yeah. Anyways, go on then. Sorry, I kind of cut you off.
You're good.
I wanted to, our tour guide was Patrick, who is from England. Now he was telling us a little bit about this because it's finished in sherry, and he said that every home in England has a bottle of sherry in it. Usually dusty because it's rarely drank, but it's kept around because it's easy on the palate and it's sweet. And he mentioned that when they were kids, at Christmas, it was always like, oh, the kids can have a little nip of sherry, and they would pour a little bit for everybody. And he said, always the
or that it's
bottle.
Like when you're gonna sneak alcohol, the sherry was always there because every home had it.
It's the first drink of any child in England, basically, is what he said. So, I mean, do you want to talk about the tour a little bit? You want me to talk about it?
You're good.
All right. Their tour is awesome. It's very informative. I feel like they do a great job telling you everything about their distillery. They don't hide anything or whatever. You get to walk through the whole distillery.
Their stills are beautiful. I always love looking at the copper stills, and they have 3 copper pots. Oh my gosh. Nope. Let's stop it. We don't need to get into how you can weld metals and what the weld of certain metals looks like. Like, we're done.
This is a question from your dad, who your parents joined us at the distillery. And he said, I don't know if that's copper because I don't know if you can weld copper. And then he was questioning the guy.
Is it like he wanted to know if it was really like copper on the the inside because of how because of how the welding was. And I don't know enough about welding, but the joints where it was welded didn't look like a copper welded joint.
Thought it was brass.
These are copper stills.
Yeah, they have 3 pot stills. If you're familiar with stills, they have 3 of the pot still varieties from Scotland, actually, not from Ireland, from Scotland. And they have 2 big column stills, and then they have a baby pot still as well.
Yes. He was asking questions like my mind. I mean, I have a scientific kind of mind thinking, but I was not thinking about all the mechanics of everything and indirect steam versus direct steam for the distilling process and how that would change. It was just his mind was going.
It was funny.
But it was, it's always neat to see behind the scenes at any distillery. And I think the way that Keeper's Heart has it all, just everything, like just walking through, it looks like it's just beautiful.
It's
a beautiful distillery.
It is for sure. Single malt saying ballsy to question the veracity of the industry standard of copper stills. Just to preface that, he's not a whiskey guy.
Nope.
This was his first tour ever. So he just was looking at the weld and going, I don't know if you can weld, because I guess to weld copper, it's got to be in a pressure
like that
controlled
that
chamber, like a pressure controlled chamber to even weld copper to get it to work right, is what he was telling me. So that was kind of interesting to know, but that's probably how they do it, you know. But and then at the end of the tour you get to do tastings, but the tastings are the components that go in their Irish American mix, which is a single grain, a Irish whiskey, and then a rye whiskey. So you get to try all of them separately, and then you get to try their Irish whiskey. So, and Single Malt saying, I know zero about welding. I have welded. I fixed the mower.
My welding knowledge goes, you have the little piece of metal like that you're like sticking to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't know how it's gonna work. I mean, my dad is like, he's literally taking, absolutely.
Yeah,
he is taking the front end of a Pontiac Solstice that got in a wreck. So the back end was like ruined, and he found the exact same opposite where the front end got ruined. He cut them in half, like he welded them together. It passed inspection, everything. Like
which is a lot to line up.
I mean, it was impressive.
I've never put a car together, but that's a lot to line up.
So I mean, in his mind's always think he has a very mechanical oriented mind. So he had a good time there, and he was like, thinking like,
I could tell he was kind of digging the science and engineering part behind it for sure. This is their Irish bourbon, which is 41% Irish, 41% Irish, 59% bourbon, and they finish it in PX Sherry Casks. And what'd you think of it in the old fashioned before you tried it on its own? A little hesitation.
No, it was a good old fashioned. I don't know if I want it in an old fashioned.
It's better on its own.
I think so.
Yeah.
But that's also like in the past me would be like, because that would be like a twist.
Past me. In the past me. What?
Previous me.
Oh, okay. So in the past, you would prefer it.
Probably, but when something is finished like this and the character that it gives the whiskey, I prefer it just neat.
Yeah. I thought it was good in the old fashioned.
It gave it a twist on the old fashioned. It definitely stood out.
Yeah.
So in terms of that, like this stands out in your old fashioned. So it was really
which is good for sure.
I don't know if I've tried it neat yet.
I haven't. So while you're doing that, just a little background on Keeper's Heart, which go check out our episode we did with Kate Douglas, a distiller there. But if you don't know, it was started by two cousins, the O'Shaughnessy's. They wanted an Irish distiller, and Brian Nation, who has distilled at Jameson, he was actually the first non-family master distiller at Jameson. And it's
a big deal for him to move.
Yeah, distilled from Middleton. They reached out to him on LinkedIn and they said, hey, we're thinking about creating this distillery. Would you be interested? And he was like, haha, funny. If you're ever in Ireland, let me know and we can talk about it.
So they turn around and they go to Ireland like the next
three days later. They had tickets to Ireland and they were like, hey, we're in Ireland. So the O'Shaughnessy's must have some money. Because I can't just book a trip 3 days later and move to Ireland.
You also aren't in a position to just start up a distillery.
That's true, which I'm sure is also very expensive.
It is.
And to get Brian Nation to leave Jameson, leave Ireland, move to Minneapolis, Minnesota to distill, that probably took a little bit of cash as well. Just a guess. I don't know the details of his contract or
it
payment,
is like, it was it's a neat experience. I don't want to say experiment, but experience, like to create something that hasn't been done.
That's true. And maybe that was part of the allure to it for Brian Nation. And if you go to the distillery in Minneapolis, it is gorgeous. They've won a bunch of awards for their restaurant, for their distillery, for their cocktails. I mean, it is a gorgeous place to go to. So if you ever get a chance, you have to go check it out. Anybody I know that has been there has said like, this is like one of the best places. It's a first class experience. It's not just us. It's everybody we know that goes there says it's a
Everyone's
first class
friendly.
experience. Yeah, oh yeah,
happy, and it's a good time.
Yeah. The I don't think we've ever had a bad waiter or waitress there.
No.
I mean, they're always great. Anyways, you talk a little bit so I can try it.
Okay. Well, what do you want me to talk? I will say, like, trying it.
Mm-hmm.
It is very. I feel like I can tell. Like, it is finished in the sherry. I feel like it picked that up from the barrel very well.
Yeah, you get a lot of the sherry.
I was gonna ask you,
fruit.
can you grab the bottle, because I don't remember what the proof was, and I don't think we went over that.
14.
Okay, because I was gonna say that part. It seems like it's higher. Nope. That's the select. So this will be lower.
110. This is 114. So the one that
okay.
Luke did at A Spirits is actually 110. This is a 114 because it is a single barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if you remember, but when we talked with the distiller Kate Douglas about the A Spirits one, she said if it was her, she would have left it in a little bit longer.
And I think that they were on point with leaving it in.
That's probably why this is darker.
Yes.
They probably left it in longer.
And I know, like, that one, it's cool to be able to do like a barrel select for a store, and that's gonna be, you're stopping it at the point that you want it stopped for that barrel select.
Well, and everybody has their different tastes. So what?
But I really, really like this.
I agree.
I prefer this to the barrel select one.
I agree with that. This is very good. The thing with Keeper's Heart whiskeys is they're all easy to drink, but not because they lack character. You know, sometimes when you say, "Oh, this whiskey's so smooth," it's because it doesn't have a lot of
Irish whiskey. Traditionally is like
that is part of it. Yeah,
smoother, lighter.
But this is still 114 proof.
Well, I can tell that it's a higher proof whiskey when I'm drinking it.
But it's so easy to sip and drink, though. This is
like around the fire pit.
That's what I was just getting ready to say. I was going to say whiskey? Bonfire, but yeah, this is a great sit around the fire pit sipper. Besides the sherry fruits, are you getting anything else from it? I have an interesting note that's popping up, but I don't know if you'll agree with it.
There is. It's like right in between, like in between the flavors that are hitting you.
Yeah.
What is it? What are you?
Okay, so we made a drink that did not turn out well with molasses.
You're getting molasses from
I'm
this?
getting a hint of molasses to it. Not in the drink that didn't turn out way, but in a good way. A sweeter molasses taste, a little bit of vanilla, and then the sherry fruit, like the baked fruit notes.
I can see the vanilla.
Yeah. Which is probably from the bourbon. You know, it's 59% bourbon. Vanilla is a pretty.
I don't know if I get molasses. Molasses isn't the one. Well,
I'm getting it.
You're getting it. My taste buds are not.
That's fine.
What did we learn from doing the blind barrels?
That we get a lot of different notes, that you have a better flavor profile. That's fair. Single malt frontier, smooth and light are valid design goals for a product. So he tries not to be negative on things that do those well, even if it's not the preference. Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you think about Blanton's, I think it's very smooth, but it's not something I really enjoy drinking. I know that's their goal, to make a good palatable whiskey.
I think.
But I mean, if it came down to Blanton's and this, I'd pick this any day. Yes,
because I think we like more complex.
Yeah.
Complex flavors, complex.
Yeah. Characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in our whiskey, because
this is much more complex for sure. I'm still getting molasses. Well,
I don't know. This packs heat.
You think so?
I'm feeling warmed from it.
I have drank more of my old fashioned than you, so that may be part of it. Why. Before I forget, shout out to Haley at Keeper's Heart, who set up the tour for us, has worked with us since we've had Kate on. Just is always great to us. So we appreciate you so much. Shout out to Patrick, who did an amazing tour. Yes. I thought he was a lot of fun.
We've been on 3 tours at the O'Shaughnessy Distillery.
Yeah.
And each one is like unique in its own way. We saw some areas I hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
But then it's also like their way of telling it, and
they do a good job telling the story.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, for sure. We've had 3 different tour guides so far. One, I think, the first one was somebody who does regular tour guides.
We had Kate.
Then we had Kate Douglas, the distiller, who's been on our show. And then we had Patrick, who I believe is actually the restaurant manager, but
I think so.
But has been there for years. So I mean, he knows the product very well. Great food there. So I can't stress enough that if you're in Minneapolis, go there. Even if you're not, go there. Like it is a really, really good place. And you have to check it out. It's just my opinion. Now, the stressful part. I know we're very, very partial to Keeper's Heart, but we got to try to keep this as honest of a rating as possible.
Okay.
So we do.
Oh, a rating scale.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean? Like,
we do 1 through 5, 4 different categories. First one, presentation. So
well, I've already given the presentation. Like, I like the Keeper's Heart bottle so much that they get the 5 because the shape of the bottle is unique. It has I love when any whiskey company has I don't know what you call that, but the glass.
The raised glass. Yeah.
That and has their name, which we're drinking out of, these used to be bottles, Keeper's Heart bottles. So you can do that. And I would even use this as a vase for flowers. If I've done that with whiskey bottles. I've removed the labels after we're done.
If you go to the restaurant, it's their water.
It's the water decanter. So it's a very versatile bottle when you're done with it.
Yeah.
But it's also it's eye catchy.
It is.
It catches your attention. And the label is, I like their labels. A lot went into it.
Single Malt Frontier. Curious if you've had any Keeper's Heart whiskey. I know this is not a single malt, but they do have a Irish single malt 10-year, which is also very good. We've not done that on our show. We did get it recently, but we've not done a review of it yet. We haven't.
So, one more thing with the bottle.
Yeah, go on.
Even the stopper has Keeper's Heart on it.
Yeah.
There's just so much detail on the bottle.
There's a lot of detail.
Which it impresses me.
Yeah, I like their logo with the Fuji Aura. Time is now, or
time
flies. Sorry, time flies.
Time is now.
Time is
now.
Yes,
time is now.
Time flies. I like that. So so 5 on design. Let's go to in a cocktail.
I would do.
I was a 5 on the bottle as well. I really like. It's not. It looks, when you first glance, it looks like typical shape, but then you start seeing the other details on it. That
I think there might be a better cocktail than an old fashioned for this, or a different spin on how we make our old fashions. Because when we do our old fashions, we do our standard on every show. We
try to keep it consistent.
Yeah,
I agree. A variation, or I maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like this would be really good in a Manhattan.
I was thinking that too, but I don't really drink Manhattan, so I was like, am I right there? In an old fashioned, because that is what we need to be rated on. I would say it's a 3.
3.
We
actually rate on cocktail, not just old fashioned.
Well, we didn't drink the right cocktail with it.
I'll go 3.5. I think it was good in the old
stands
fashioned.
Out.
Yeah.
And that is why it's not it stands out. I just don't think that we made the right cocktail for it.
That makes
I think
sense,
there's a better cocktail for this bottle if you're not going to drink it neat. Drinking it neat, yes.
Yeah. So let's go nose. What do you think of the nose on it? You get another sniff in there.
It's amazing. It's so sweet. It smells like a dessert.
Yeah. It smells like it is reminiscent of sherry or a port. It's just got
baked goods.
Baked goods. Yeah. The baked fruit too. That all stands out.
Like a baked goods with a brown sugar crumble top.
Now that's all I'm smelling.
Not molasses. Hungry. I think it's brown sugar, which I guess.
I still think I think it's molasses.
No,
myself,
brown sugar.
But anyways, on the nose, I'm gonna.
It's on point.
It's on point. I'm gonna go 4.5 with it. What do you think on your nose?
I mean, what do you want more of or less of for it to be a 5?
That's a good question.
Because it doesn't burn. Like a higher proof whiskey sometimes burn.
Right.
There's nothing like that.
Right.
It smells
now you're making me feel bad.
Like I want to just eat the whiskey.
Eat the whiskey. Eat the whiskey.
I would go a 5 on the nose palate.
All right, you bumped me to a 4.8. I'm trying not to be too biased because I love this distillery.
No, take that out of. Just smell it.
I know I'm trying, but I feel like if I just give.
It smells like a dessert. So for me, with my sweet tooth,
I'm sticking with 4.8. Okay. Taste the palate, which includes the finish. Again, very drinkable. You really pick up the sherry, but I'm getting vanilla and molasses with it.
Vanilla and brown sugar.
You're getting vanilla
It's
and brown
sweet.
sugar. It is very
so
sweet.
It depends. Like,
this is great. Like you said, that I was getting ready to say, by the fire pit or a bonfire.
It's definitely like a sipper. Well, sherry is like a dessert.
Right, a dessert.
You know,
yeah.
It's definitely one where it's like a sipper and stuff. So I don't know.
Think of if you're in the Midwest, think of a colder fall night. You're sitting by the fire. This is warming you because it's warming.
And it does. It heats you. The proof heats your body. Like my body is really warm.
And the finish is nice because I still have like the sweetness of the sherry right now. And I haven't taken a drink for a little bit now.
Because of my preferences, I'm going to go a 4.
Okay. See, this is good. This is why I dropped a little on the nose. I'm going to go a 4.5.
Okay.
I mean, this is, to me, it's a top-notch whiskey. There's not a lot that I can think of that I would reach for over it. You know,
and you can I don't know, when you're tasting it, you can get the bourbon. I can tell like there's some Irish element to it, like an Irish whiskey element to it.
Now there are some whiskeys that in the summer I'd be like, oh, that's a good summer whiskey. I don't know if I would want to reach for this on a hot day.
A rainy cold, like it's a rainy cold day today.
Yeah.
And this is perfect.
Which is funny. You say a rainy cold day today. I was on lunch break doing a little work outside and it was only 60 degrees out and the sweat was pouring off me like it was 80. And I'm like, what is happening? I don't know if it was just humid out. I don't know.
I mean, it's rainy. We're in May.
We are in May.
The weather here is not treated us well. It was like it's like 90 last week.
Right. Yeah. Anyways, it's a really good whiskey. It's a really good distillery.
If you can get up there, and because this wasn't, this is the first time I've seen this available. We were up there.
It was one of their newest.
It's one of their newest. They also have one that we got to try, which was also, it was interesting. I loved this more, but it was, was it their Irish American or their Irish Bourbon?
I think they're Irish Bourbon. And it was Amaro finish.
It was, in Amaro casks.
But he said the Amaro took over so much they had to add a little bit of bourbon with it.
Yes.
To blend it.
So, but that one is also available now at the distillery.
Our Mark checking in saying, Keeper's Heart Irish Bourbon cask strength is a great fantasy football draft day drink if you want 4 quarterbacks.
If you want 4 quarterbacks. Yep, we've seen that happen.
I love it. That was in a non-super flex league, if I remember correctly. So,
well, I have seen, I also kind of think that he did this to me because of my complaints of people who draft 4 quarterbacks in a non-super flex. Yes.
Oh, you think he did that, or you think other people have?
No.
Okay.
I think your dad did.
All right.
No, because that was shortly after the time where I was really complaining about Brandon.
Yeah.
In his every year.
Yeah.
When there's just absolutely no need for it, and the bench space we have in that league is like limited.
Right. And it's not a super flex.
Flex league.
Yeah. So you think he was doing that to?
I think he heard we'd just gotten done with one of those episodes where I was complaining.
Or maybe he had a lot of Irish Bourbon.
I think it's a combo. But he wasn't the only one. That was in our family league, and my dad also drafted 4 quarterbacks.
The dad's drafted 4 quarterbacks.
Like, what is going on?
By the way, make sure you follow Keeper's Heart Whiskey on Twitter. They're doing a thing right now that if you post a video of yourself with a bottle of Keeper's Heart dressed like a dad doing dad things, they will send you a free dad hat. So, yeah. Why not? I mean, why not? It's a free hat. Why not? Anyways, that's an upcoming celebration of Father's Day, of course, next year or next month.
Next year.
We're
skipping this year.
Next month. I don't remember them doing anything like that for Mother's Day, but maybe I missed it. Do you have anything else? As I'm joking, do you have anything else you want to add? I mean, that we covered the crazy NFC news with the quarterbacks and George Pickens. We covered the Keeper's Heart Irish Bourbon PX cask or PX Sherry finished. Can't talk, which is very good. Covered how amazing the distillery is. Go check it out. Otherwise, if you can't get up there, find a bottle. I'm sure they are distributed pretty well. So
they make an old fashioned ready to drink. Yes. I want to highlight that quick because we are very picky with our ready to drink cocktails. We've tried a lot of them, and we have found that they're more misses than they are hits.
Yeah.
But we have found a couple that are hits. Like we will recommend to people. One is a distillery right here in Iowa, Cody Road. Old Fashioned. That one is good. They got it right. But the Keeper's Heart Old Fashioned, that is also a go-to of ours, and we got to pick up another bottle of that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very good. In fact, we went to the casino after Keeper's Heart, went to Mystic Lake Casino to celebrate Addie's birthday. Shout out to Addie, happy birthday. But that's what I was sipping on, the Keeper's Heart Old Fashioned. You get a room at a casino, you just go back and you pour a little on the glass and you walk into the casino
and they will never let you in there again.
right. Do not tell Mystic Lake about